Mahalakshmi Vaishnavi Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. What has worked on other planets that have these levels of dysfunction? What has worked to turn around other planets and get them headed forward again when karma is delayed until after death?
The portal's still open.
It's still open. And now, at the time that this question was submitted, the portal wasn't open, so the next part of the question was relevant at the time.
That's true.
It was at that time, what now to reopen the portal to actual godly presences, and we're grateful to have an open portal today.
That's true.
But that question was asked.
From a viewer externally.
A viewer of some years.
That's true.
Who's really become more and more serious, and somebody thinks that you guys would consider him a student of yours.
That's true. They're saying, what's the next part?
So this is the last question from that student's group of questions. And he's with real curiosity and very respectful. And he's asking, he really wants to know, does anybody up there really want to know what's actually going on down here on Ground Zero planet Earth? And he wants to know, with real curiosity, if there's anyone up there who wants to know with real curiosity what's going on down here across the dimensional divide. Is there anybody who really wants to know?
What this feeling could be is the feeling of, well, send up some more actual uncensored real data and then I'll know if I want to know.
Okay. We have the list. We have the list here of morning protocols.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay. We're happy to pick it up where we left off. This is a list of commonly shared error patterns, and they're shared by the souls who pass through this dimension, as well as by the inhabitants of this dimension. So these are the error patterns of Ground Zero planet Earth, and for those who pass through Ground Zero planet Earth.
That's true.
And what they're saying, what's it based on? An accumulation of years of traffic, soul traffic, night after night, first thing in the morning. If not identified during the overnight itself, do first thing in the morning attempt to identify what's going on, what was happening in the dreaming, what were the errors that were being shown by the dreamer, how do we share in those errors, and then to do something to address the errors. And over time this list has grown, and it's pretty lengthy now. It might have 60, maybe 70 questions on it, because some of the lines have multiple
errors on it.
On them. It's supposed to fit on one page, and we're to the max, even changing margins and things like that. And we're not allowed to change font size. That's one of the rules. Keep it at this font size and this font style, and fit it on one page. And so that's the restriction. But we're allowed to use acronyms. Thank goodness. Okay, so refusing to acknowledge inconvenient reality is item number 7. We had left off after 6.
That's right.
And then we also did 36 through 45.
Yes,
but 7 through 35 we haven't put on the table yet. And number 7 is refusing to acknowledge inconvenient reality. It's very, very, very common we think it's almost universal.
That's true.
In the sense of being everywhere in this dimension and in the souls who pass through this dimension.
That's true.
Then refusing to acknowledge the results of past experiments. And this we find in the souls who pass through this dimension. Now they're getting upset.
Yeah, I feel upset feelings upstairs.
Yeah, they're getting upset. Well, we can set that one aside.
That's true.
Okay, the next one is refusing to adjust for past failures.
Still pretty upset.
Yeah.
You know what this feels kind of like?
No.
You know how sometimes when someone is talking about the errors of someone other than you, but you can see how you do the same thing,
right.
And then it starts to feel like they're talking about you.
We're not talking about
I'm not talking about you.
We're talking about the souls who pass through this dimension.
Yes.
And about the occupants of this dimension
itself,
particularly with regard to planet Earth.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, now it's a little calmer.
We also have flawed goals.
As an error.
Just the flawed goals, chasing the wrong thing.
That's true.
Trying to accomplish the wrong thing.
That's
the goal
true.
itself is flawed. These are error patterns of the planet, and this is why we're really trying to find something that's worked for other planets with this level of dysfunction.
That's true.
The next item, number 10, denying inconvenient reality. It's different than refusing to acknowledge inconvenient reality. The refusal quality has a harder blocking
that's true.
characteristic. Denying is just not looking at it. It doesn't feel the same.
That's
Some
true.
days it feels like denial, and other days it feels like refusal to acknowledge, and they don't feel the same. And they don't burn the same. When we burn one, burning simply being away, transmuting energy.
That's true.
When we burn it with the intention to create the tall blue flame, a very clear, clean transmutation technique that also simultaneously creates a signal that's widely recognized in multiple dimensions that it's time to take action.
That's true.
So when we burn refusal to acknowledge inconvenient reality to create the tall blue flame, and then we turn around and find denying inconvenient reality still present, then it's got a different tenor, and you can do it in the opposite order, and it will still yield the same outcome of their two separate things.
That's true.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
We also have doing the wrong things. Very common error pattern. Similar to flawed goals.
That's true.
And another related error is being in the wrong places.
That's true.
And sometimes, especially with souls,
yes,
we have
exactly.
being in the wrong times.
That's true.
Sometimes they will give an answer that's, they say, we're going to stop siding with bullies on February 25th, 1991.
Yeah.
And they'll say it as if they're unaware that that happened quite some time ago.
That's
February
true.
25th, 1991 happened quite some time ago.
That's right.
And the siding with bullies phenomenon plays out. So when we say siding with bullies, we don't mean actively. It's more like a passive phenomenon that by not intervening and stopping bullies instantly, it's a passive acquiescence.
Yes,
that
that's true.
Bullying is somehow okay in that particular situation, because there's not a big hand of God saying, hey, stop it.
That's right.
And people interpret that as something that maybe it isn't what you guys intend.
That's true.
How's it going so far? So that was an example of being in the wrong times, where souls who show up and say, we're going to stop siding with bullies on February 25th, 1991, and they think that that's a date that's in the future, but it's a date that's come and gone quite some time ago.
That's true.
That's 28 years ago. And there's 28 items or line items left, and maybe that's some kind of signal. I don't know. I just know numbers.
That's true.
And we just happen to notice that's 28 years ago, and there are 28 items.
That's
I'm
true.
not saying that that's...
It's just if you're looking for signals.
That's a signal of something to someone. That means something.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to explain because people are going to think we staged this or rehearsed it or something, but
That's true.
This body has kind of like this idiot savant thing with numbers. Like
It's
just
true.
Really, it was a CPA body.
For a long
For
time.
a long time. And before that, had an educational career in math and science.
That's true.
So from babyhood, really educated in numbers.
That's true.
The mother of this body was a mathematician.
That's
so
true.
educated in numbers. So that's not rehearsed. It's just a comfort with numbers. Very comfortable with numbers.
That's true.
Okay, so all of that had to do with being in the wrong times.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so item number 12, letting go of the wrong things. And we think this is really common, especially in Ground Zero Planet Earth human society.
That's true.
People can feel the tug between what they're supposed to do and all the rest of society, and it seems almost universally let go of what they're supposed to do rather than letting go of all the rest of society.
That's true.
And they have to let go of one or the other, and we understand that, and
yeah,
that's why we believe the instructions are to stay away from society as much as possible.
As much as possible, that's true.
We try to do that.
That's true.
We believe that's why the instructions have been given to us, is that this society insists that you chase other goals.
That's true.
Other than looking up to wiser minds above, asking up, what now? What am I supposed to do right now to solve the enormous problems of our times, because they're here. And then doing whatever it is that wiser minds above say to do. And that's what we're supposed to do.
That's
so
true.
What has worked to turn around planets with this level of dysfunction? And is it possible to speed up the karmic cycles? Because we think that if you layer on karmic cycles delayed until after death, that we have something that actually doesn't work, a training program that doesn't work. To get presences to look up to wiser minds above, ask up what now, and then do what wiser minds above say to do. We think the karmic cycle has to be speeded up, but
that's true.
You tell us.
Are they still listening?
It's still playing in that room.
Yeah,
we think they've kind of gone down the hall.
Yeah, that's true. That's the feeling.
It is still playing in that room. The portal's still open.
That's true.
Do we beam it to an empty room? Maybe.
Maybe.
That seems stupid. Let's just stop. There's one more. We'll finish the line.
And I wonder if we can get it up even higher.
And try to get it up even higher, because this next error pattern is letting go of the assignment.
Whoa, which is directly relevant to what just happened in the higher dimension room.
Directly relevant, which would suggest possibly the error pattern of letting go of the assignment reaches all the way up there, and that's unfortunate, really inconvenient, but it just means we have to reach higher. That's all. We can do that.
I can feel a higher room.
They don't know anything that we've done yet.
No, it feels totally fresh.
Okay.
Okay. Feels like they don't know who are you and what are you talking about.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We think we don't have the oomph to pick it up again from scratch right now. But we can do that again soon.
That's true.
What now to keep the portal open?